Alright, we're back to discuss more Gardens of the Moon. Book 6, City of Blue Flame. Blue Fire. Anyways, so things are definitely moving towards the end of the book. Things are starting to speed up, would you say?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe getting a little bit more focused on what's about to happen instead of just building?
Maybe not.
Maybe not. So, I know you have notes right there.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to discuss?
No rhyme or reason as usual. All over the place. So, let's just start with... I am starting to really not like Crocus. And it would seem like his luck might be running out.
Maybe.
Maybe Opon's getting sick of his bratty butt too.
He is young and dumb.
He is. And he still doesn't know that he's this coin bearer, I don't think. But I think he knows there's something special about him. Because all these people are like trying to keep him from get in contact with other people and go places by himself, and
he doesn't want to be locked up.
Yeah. So
even if they are friends and not.
But yeah, so everyone seems to be anti-Opon and in turn would be anti-Crocus, except for the ones who are trying to protect him.
Well, I think it's more most factions are anti-God interaction with mortals.
Yeah. Question about Opon. So they're the Luck Twins, as I have referred to them. Do each of them get to, like, pick who they want to provide luck to? Because Perrin has luck through the sword, and when he was stuck in the weird world of Dragnapur, he called out to Opon, and I think it was...
the male one.
The male twin came down and helped him out. But then Opon is also with Crocus. So do they each get to, like...
That I'm not sure.
Because I also think, too, way back when Perrin was knocking on Hound's door... is that what... No, Hood's door. Sorry. Why didn't you correct me?
Because he did stab a hound. I'm like,
No. Knocking on Hood's door when he was visited by Opon.
Yes.
The boy was one way, but the girl was another way. So that's why I thought
one
maybe...
is like good luck, one is the bad
luck. So they could... Oh, so if they each get to put their own, though, that means Crocus could have bad luck on
But they
him.
both seem to have good luck.
Yeah. But I think, like I said, Crocus's luck is changing. Because
it
now
all depends on how the coin lands.
Yeah, well, because now there's a... Oh, does it? So at one time they could have good luck and then it could be bad luck?
That'd be my guess on it.
But who's flipping the coin? Crocus has the coin.
And it's spinning, so it's undecided.
So it's constantly like it's in his pocket spinning?
No, it's just
Is there another coin?
No.
Because how could Crocus have the actual coin, but part of the luck be with a whole nother person who does not have the coin? This was not originally something I wanted to talk about, but now I'm wondering.
Gods can have more than one influence per se.
Okay. But the coin bearer doesn't determine the way it spins, right? They're just carrying it. So what's the theory? Like, if you have the coin, you have a better chance of having good luck? Like, why are people after him? Are they after him just because it's Opon and they don't want the gods interfering?
They don't want a tool of the gods to influence things.
Okay, then why didn't Animander Rake destroy Chance, the sword that Perrin carries?
Well, remember he said, when your luck turns, give it to your enemy or break it. Because he said Perrin wasn't, a tool.
But his sword was.
Mm.
So it's still technically interfering, because anything Perrin does with that sword would be interfering. Like the whole hound thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, whatever. We're probably getting into some weird hole of craziness. So I'm just gonna move on.
That's a deep hole, yeah.
Yeah. So the next one, Apsalar, aka or FKA, formerly known as Sorry. What's going on there? What's going on? Because her and Crocus went into the tower. Because that's when he was like, I'm not going to be locked up. Let's go hang out on the rooftops or whatever. So they went up to the tower, and it's pitch black.
And she has night vision, basically.
But she's able to see paintings on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, you can't. And she's like, I can't? What am I looking at then? But I mean, so her vision went from pitch black to gray, so she could see the paintings on the wall. She also felt the stickiness, but he was like, oh, it's just runoff from up above. I think it was blood.
It was.
From Ocelot.
Mm-hmm.
Because him and Rallick had their tango,
mm-hmm.
and he did not come out on top.
Correct.
But yeah, what's going on with her?
Raffo.
Okay, but now I want to know, was she some special little fisher girl from the beginning?
No.
Or is it cotillion residue still within her?
Kind of close there.
Okay. But then I also had thought, well, since she is carrying the name of the Lady of Thieves, that maybe that was some kind of new player in the game. Anyways, cotillion residue. Okay. I'm moving on. They were short chapters, but a lot happened, which I appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
So moving down the line here, we get a little more talk of the eel.
Right.
Are the ladies of the Phoenix and eel agents?
Basically.
Okay. And the eel is pro Cole becoming a lord again, from what I gather.
Yeah.
The eel knows and pretty much sees all, because the eel somehow knew or knows about Rallick and Murillo's plan to put Lord Cole back into position.
Mm-hmm.
So I am also with Murillo and wondering if Krupp is the eel. Which I've kind of said, I think I may have said something before about what if it's somebody I've already met and I just don't know it. Yeah, so, and Krupp knows and sees and eats all, so... And he wasn't in this part that much. He had one encounter, well no, he might have had a couple encounters, but his main encounter was with Baruch, who was wanting him to, pass a message, I think, on to the eel. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, hell, if he is the eel, you just pass the message on.
But no one knows who the eel is.
I want to know.
You might find out by the end of the book.
Okay, so we're continuing on. But yes, I wanted to know about the ladies, because they were like, have you heard anything from the eel?
There's obviously a network there.
Yeah.
That was the signal. That was the signal.
Okay. So, we got to overhear a conversation between Baruch and Rake.
Okay.
I understood it, so yay me. But I feel like we learned a little more about Rake and the Tistandi and how he is. The person he is. He's a person, right? He's not like a critter or a creature or a...
Well, not human, but humanoid.
Okay, so, yeah. Because he was kind of sad sounding. and depressed sounding.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, like, what's the point in preserving something that has no, I don't want to say purpose, but
He's
trying to preserve his people who are dying.
Yeah, that becomes a much bigger thing later.
I'm probably not saying it right. Maybe you can talk about it a little bit.
Basically, he was expressing that they're really long-lived, but there seems to be no purpose for them. So they're just wasting. It's kind of the, you know, what? Think of Pink Floyd? Okay.
Anyways, I'm not...
But that's kind of what,
Yeah.
you know. So, them getting involved is like him trying to insert purpose, even if temporary.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, I get that. Going through life, granted, their lives are like, you know, thousands of years.
Eternal compared to ours.
Yeah, but I get it. The whole feeling like, what's your purpose? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's like one of the major philosophical questions. So, of everyone, not just, you know, me or you. It's like everyone wants to know why. Mm-hmm. So I kind of felt for him, you know? Yeah,
he tends to be a lot of people's, like, maybe not favorite, but up there.
Yeah. Even Baruch was kind of like feeling for him. So, but anyways, I feel like that gave us a little more insight into who he was and his people. In this conversation, we took a stroll down the hall, or maybe to another building, I don't know, and we were checking on Uncle Mamat, who apparently is a high priest?
Of Drek.
What is a high priest in relation to, like, the claw, the fist?
Completely different.
I know, but is it like, it's like its own thing?
No,
own
it's like a priesthood to a god. It has nothing to do with empire, nothing.
So it's its own thing?
Yes. So all the gods, the ones that are worshipped anyway, have their own, like, priests.
Okay. So apparently he is one. I don't know who two, you said?
Drek.
And Drek is the god of... We don't know yet.
Yeah.
But apparently he has taken himself, because he's also like the historian researcher person, and they wanted to know more information about the Jaghut tyrant.
The tyrant, yeah.
So instead of just like, I don't know, going to the whatever equivalent library, he decided to take himself to the tomb via his Warren. I always want to say the other.
Yeah, it's Warren.
But now he's stuck.
He's like
He's trapped. But is it because the tyrant has taken him as one of his...
No.
Subservients now? He's trapped though. I mean, he's there. Like, physically, they can see him. It looks like he's sleeping. But...
Well, you'll get more of him in part 7, I believe.
I told you there was something about him. But why would he take himself there?
He didn't know he was going to get locked.
And now, while we're talking about the tomb, Tool and Lauren have gone in, fetched what they needed to fetch, and Lauren's headed out to deliver. It starts with an F.
Finesse?
I think that's what's... Deliver it and put it in place somewhere, and she only has a certain time frame.
The tyrant is going to want the finesse.
Okay, but she's taking it somewhere.
Well, yeah.
And she only has so many days...
Before he's fully awake.
Which Tool is staying there at the tomb to observe his awakenness. But Mamat's there too.
Well...
But Tool doesn't know that. Does he know that?
Don't worry.
Gosh, you can't tell me anything?
Don't worry so much about Mamat right now. Just know that he's like unconscious.
Well... Are you trying to get me fired up?
Yeah.
Are you trying to frustrate me?
No. It's just... Okay. to be fair, it's been over a year since I read this book, and I'm a little blurry on that part.
Oh, so you can't answer because you can't recall.
Besides, if I gave you an answer, you'd be less reason to keep reading, right?
Anyways, moving on. We talked a little bit about Rallick and Ocelot. So that's kind of gonna... because Ocelot was going after...
Cole.
Right. Okay. But Rallick is trying to put Cole back in place. Okay. Well, there you go. Perrin finally meets Whiskey Jack.
Yeah.
I mean, we almost got a whole how many pages in here, and he finally meets the person he set out back in book 1 to meet. And in his meeting with Whiskey Jack, there's a conversation between him, Whiskey Jack, and High Fist Jujek via something that I picture as much like R2-D2 spewing out the image of Princess Leia in Star Wars. I don't know. But that whole conversation, I'm passing that over to you because I couldn't follow it. It's too military-ish. Plans, plots, I can't keep up.
Basically, the plan as of now is they are going to defect from Malazan with all their forces, but they still need Darujistan for its resources.
Okay.
And then they know there's another force called the Panyan Seer that's going to have to be dealt with.
Okay. See, I thought they were going to be in alliance with the Panyan... How do you say it?
Panyan Seer.
I thought they were going to be in alliance.
No, that. You get more of that later.
Of course.
Not in this book, but...
Of course. But Lorne is still under Captain Perrin's, target. He, wants to take her out.
Mm-hmm.
But if I understand, he's not allowed to. Because she's, kind of essential to this new track. Dujek kind of says, oh yeah, you can do whatever you want with her to get Perrin on board. But then as soon as he commits, Whiskey Jack, I think, is yeah, you can't take her out. Did I understand that?
Well...
Or do you not recall?
It's kind of like, we're not really fans of Lorne, but don't kill her unless we have to.
Okay. Okay, so Dujak's pretty much planning a revolt.
Taking all the army he has and...
Right.
Breaking off.
Okay. Not with Taskrin, though. Or Tashrin.
Mm-mm.
Okay. He doesn't really care for him, right?
I don't think anyone really cares for Tashrin.
Those are true words, yes. I do have to say, while I was reading, I think it was Lorne who had a claw tenet run through her head. And when I read it, I was like, oh, I've heard this before. I've seen this before. I even had it in my phone, before I even started reading this book. And it's, when the time for action comes, all doubts must be discarded. So then when I, Googled it to be who originally said this? I didn't find much hits, but Malazan did pop up. So I was like, oh, look, I was already kind of tied to the Malazan world without knowing it. And we got a mention of Gardens of the Moon. Finally!
You got your title.
Yes! I'm going to say her name wrong if I don't look at it. Apsalar. When they went up to the tower, her and Crocus.
She was looking at the moon.
They're all she's all look at the moon. And instead of him looking at the one she's looking at, he's looking at Moon's spawn. And she's looking at Moon. And she's all look at the moon. Do you see the lake and the gardens? And she tells a story of Growlin. I don't know if I'm saying it right. But I was like, oh my gosh, we've got Gardens of the Moon. And this story, by the way, it sounds like the second coming. Because she's he will descend and take the chosen ones and they'll go up and they'll live and swim as, I think she said swim as dolphins. And I'm just I don't care what you're saying. I got the gardens finally. Yay!
And then do you remember what Crocus seen?
Crocus, I don't care about what he saw. I was excited for Gardens of the Moon. Finally mentioned. I think he saw some like flying critters coming off of the moon's spawn.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe it was Crone. Maybe it's something completely different. Who knows? I was too excited about Apsalar's story. But then I also immediately started having like little flashbacks to the Revelation seminar that I was forced to attend as a youngin'. Quickly had to tick that out of my head. But anyways.
Ruined the whole end of the chapter, huh?
No, because I booted that out. And I'm just like, finally. Okay, it happened. I'm complete. So, yep, that's it. That's all I got.
So, I believe we only got one part left.
One part, book 7.
The Fete.
Ooh. Oh, I did want to mention something else. Ask, how much stock, like how much attention do I need to give to these little like blurbies that are at the beginning of the chapters? They're like portions.
Histories or poems.
Yeah, how much do I need to give? Because sometimes I understand, sometimes I don't.
I would give it as much attention as you want.
Okay.
Like some of them like are...
Well, like there's one...
Like I'm not really one to like be an expert on it, but some people say after you read the chapter, if you go back and read it, sometimes it's like linked. Sense. But
yeah,
I don't know.
So I was just wondering, because I mean I read them. Mm-hmm. I'm not skipping anything.
That's good.
But I'm just like, do I need to comprehend?
There's times when you just won't comprehend.
Okay. Well, that's been this whole journey thus far. There's always been times.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, alright, well that's all I got for book 6 of Gardens of the Moon.
Yep.
Next week we're going to a party.
And what a party.
See you then.
See ya.